In most cases, what you are calling a fern root is actually its stem or rhizome. Have a look at how ferns grow and how we can help them remain in their pots. Ferns 101. Fern leaves are called fronds. These connect to a stem called a rhizome, and this rhizome has a few furry hairy little roots that anchor it to the ground and absorb some nutrients. Ferns also produce stolons or runners. These are extensions that shoot out of the main rhizome and will then root and grow nearby. As a fern grows, the rhizome gets longer in some cases. In the case of a tree fern, the rhizome can get really long. A rhizome is normally a horizontal stem with a shoot on the end and from which side shoots can emerge, and roots grow downwards. A tree fern trunk is actually a confusing mass of roots that grows up. These are odd plants indeed. What do we mean when we ask about fern roots growing out of the pot? Normally, when people ask about fern roots growing out of the pot, it is more of a reference to the rhizome growing out of the pot. That is why the above sojourn into basic fern biology was important. It can also be a reference to stolons or runners coming out of the pot. If we understand how the fern plant grows, we can also work out when and how to trim our ferns so that 1. They don't grow out of the pot. And 2. They don't get killed by our trimming. Some ferns are indestructible and others are quite fiddly and die easily. They also need to be repotted quite often. This is because they are shallow-rooted, and repotting them allows us to give them more fresh soil. How to make soil for ferns. Take 1 part of good potting soil, and then I mix that with the second part of coconut coir after hydrating it as per the instructions on the block. Once this is mixed, mix in some finely milled pine bark. You can also mix in a few teaspoons of coffee grounds if you have them, or some old tea bags. Break the tea bags open, give it all a good swirl, and there you have it. Fancy fern soil. How do we control our ferns? Option 1. Cut parts of the plant off that you do not like. If roots, rhizomes, or stolons come out of the pot, cut them off and throw them away. Option 2. Multiply your fern. You can empty the pot, and then just break up the clumps of ferns and cut them into smaller individual plants. Trim off the large fronds and then replant the trimmed ferns in new pots with new fern soil as per the mixing instructions above. Keep the transplanted ferns moist and in a bit of shade for a few days, then move them back to the normal place where the parent plant was. We hope this video has helped you understand the anatomy of ferns and how we can work with them to keep our ferns healthy, multiplying, and beautiful. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.